onto the mat. And we'll start with our usual tiptoes and heels. Tiptoes and heels. Getting into a nice rhythm. We'll do a little bit of extra with this today and bring in a concept called anchoring, which is a really nice concept and will be useful for what we're doing later. So as you're rocking backwards and forwards, really starting to pay attention to the floor beneath and feeling the feet traveling from front to back and back to front to back and back to front. And you can feel the feet traversing as you go. And you find that rhythm comes in nice and gently. And then as the feet start to ache, just do a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Just so that we've got a real ache on. And then when you come to stillness, you're going to feel those feet even more. And normally we talk about taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, sending the breath down to the roots and watering the roots. So today we're just going to extend that. So imagine that those roots are really growing down into the earth, through the underground streams and crystalline layers of rock and the cave systems, the roots, all the different Mother Earth kingdoms. And then it's going to wrap itself around either a big boulder or a big lump of crystal. And it can be whatever you want. And just feel that you're anchored into the earth by this rock, this crystal. So that if any wind comes along, and you might be moving through the world, but we have this sense of real anchoredness. Okay, and hold on to that because we're going to use that in a little while to help us with what we're doing today. Okay, let's start with the hands. I'm going to rub, 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 massage, lightly touch, pinch the fingertips, press the palms, squeeze, however you need. Stretch and squeeze has been a really important one for me the last few weeks. It really works, but I want to feel the palms of the hands stretching when we do it. And then when the hands come to the sides, there we are, we can feel the hands. Take a breath. And as you breathe out, it's hands and feet together. And maybe even with that sense of that anchor there at the same time. Lovely. Okay, so finding these two dots at the back of the head. So if you haven't been here for this, you tap along the center line and then you split into two. And where you split into two, you can feel two tender spots. That's where those spots are. We want to wake them up somehow. You can tap them, you can massage them, you can press them. And once they're gently woken up, we're going to bring the heel of the hand and the fingers to those two spots. And then using the other hand, we're going to push the jaw. 1, 2, 3, release. 1, 2, 3, release. 1, 2, 3, release. Finger, the knuckle here on the top lip. So I can push the whole of that top jaw into those 2 points and release. You can swap hands if your arm starts to ache, no problem. 1, 2, 3, and push. And then a little 1 or 2 together. Push and release. And then I've been doing the tongue one again because I discovered like the face yoga started to feel the flab down here. So I was like, oh, we're coming back to the tongue. Tongue in the cheek, up and down. Until you get tired, then point. And then the other side. And when you finish that, relax. And hopefully you can feel that relaxation going all the way back. You might want to add a little bit of softness as well, especially if it's been really tight, that jaw, and it's only just starting to release from a week of tension. Oh, okay, so once we're there, we've got the jaw relaxing. We're going to take a breath. Feeling the feet anchored, the hands and the jaw relaxing, and we've got all three at the same time. Feet, hands and face together. Feet, hands and face together. Lovely. Okay, It's good to salute to the sun. So let's bring the arms up in the air. Now, we're rooting down, we're anchored, and we're reaching up. And as you breathe in, you're lengthening the spine in that S shape. Breathing out, forward bend. We're going to let the hands topple down, letting the head go, relaxing the back of the neck, releasing the back of the jaw. And just have a moment here to relax everything. So just, you've got the stretch going. We're just going to relax the neck, the jaw. We're going to relax whatever we're stretching, just a fraction. Breathing in, we look up. And then we're going to come down a little bit stronger stretch, breastbone first. Slight S shape in the spine as you come down, let go of the head and jaw. Okay, then take a step back with one leg. Drop the knee. We're leaning forwards. Leaning forwards, leaning forwards. Push the floor away from you. Relax that back of the neck a little bit. Wait for it. Wait for it, wait for it. And then the foot comes, the hands come up, we're leaning forwards, and now we're breathing in and we're reaching up. Creating space in the upper back. Let's bring the hands to the ground. Plank pose. So this front foot's going to come behind. Here's our strengthening. So we're pushing through the arms. We can feel that rose arch, the golden arch. We're picking up the marble. And we're breathing. Breathing as we work. Really working and picking up, picking up, picking up. Now when you can't handle it anymore, we just drop down and we go straight into bottom roll. So bring the hands as pillows, place the forehead on both the hands and allow yourself to rock from side to side. Getting into a nice gentle rhythm. Mind's going to want to wander off, but our job here is to keep bringing our attention back to the rhythm. And then when we're done, there'll be a response in the body that we're waiting for. Once that's happened, we're going to bring it to stillness. And again, just tune into what that feels like. Remember, it's just a reminder, oh yeah, that's what it's like to let go of my legs and to soften my body. And then we can move on. So we're going to bring the arms beneath, elbows tucked in. Breathing in, we're lengthening, creating space, pushing through. Coming back, so we're sitting back, we've got the hands stuck to the mat, we can feel the space in the wrist, elbows, shoulders. And maybe a bit of tightness in the upper back, so let's give that a rock. Use the hands side to side. And then sitting back again and just waiting for it to release. All the way down the spine if possible. Coming up onto hands and knees. I'm going to pull with the hands into an S shape, lengthening the spine. Push into a C shape. When you pull, it's the tail that reacts, and like a wave, it comes up the spine into the S shape. And as you push, the tail reacts and then come into C shape. And we're just waiting for it to feel smoother than it was, even if it's just a fraction smoother. Once we get a little bit of smoothness, then tucking the toes under, coming up and back into our downward dog. Letting the legs go. Again, trying to find a relaxation position. So where you can just feel the legs, the heels letting go, the arms are pushing gently, the breastbone is dropping slightly, the jaw and the neck especially letting go. Don't forget to breathe. And our job here is to relax and stay upside down as long as we can. As we
Now there might be a point already where the bone is the muscle and the bones are complaining a little bit here. And that's okay. Listen to your own body. If it says move on, then you're moving on. You know what comes next. If you're still there, then hold it for a bit longer. And then you're going to come forward. All right, so same leg that went back is now coming forward, which means we're stretching out the other side of the groin, pushing the floor away from you, tucking the chin in ever so slightly so you can let go in the back of the neck, leaning, leaning, leaning forward, waiting for that length to happen. Once it's released a little bit, we can come up, pushing on this knee. We'll get you a little bit more. Keep going down as you reach up. And then when the arms come down for the second time, we're going to have a little bit of a deeper release and then include the neck and jaw in there. Lovely. And then it's this back foot is going to come forward. We're coming into our forward bend. Engage the core, grab hold of the elbows, let the head dangle. And then we're going to do a little bit of a rock, rock, rock here. Rocking, rocking, rocking. And then we breathe in, we're going to look up. And as we come down, breastbone first, you can feel it. Compare it to the first stretch we did. A lot more stretching, bit of relaxing and letting go. And then go the neck and jaw. And then we're going to gently curl. Nice and slowly, pushing through the feet. Pushing through the feet here. And just feeling again that rootedness, okay? So we've grown our roots all the way down into the floor. And as we bring the arms up and back and we create this lovely back bend, opening up the chest, let's bring the hands together and draw that line down the center of the body. So we're going to extend this centering exercise just slightly today. So feel this line. If you can't feel it, remember, draw it. It's absolutely fine to just quickly pass the hand down so you know where that central line is. You've got your feet either side of the line. The hands are on the line. The jaw is letting go into the line. So we've got feet, hands, and face, the central line, the breath. There's so much going on here that we're trying to focus on that the mind is going to be quiet. And we're going to add an extra. So what about these roots? What about this anchoring point? So if you think about the feet and the roots growing down into the earth, deep, deep, deep down into the earth, that crystal or big boulder that you're wrapping your roots around is going to be also in line with your central line. And just feel how that adds that extra bit of centeredness. Lovely. And then we'll release the hands. Well done. All right, so we're going to deal with the first reflex, which is our stress response. As we know, I'm just going to take this off. It's rather warm in here, actually. And we're going to start it in a slightly different way than we normally do, because we're going to start with massaging these gland areas first. So we're going to deal with the hormonal side of stress first. So here I've got my hand and I'm stroking up from the heel, that dip in the heel, up towards my calves, and I'm getting them warm, warm, warm. Now this is not the only way to do it. As you know, you can put your foot up on a chair, you can do one at a time. But here we go. Once you feel that warmth and you come up, keep your awareness on the fact that it's warm down there, and then rub the adrenal glands. So I've got the hands here. They're in little sort of fists, so that we are warming up the palm of the hand. Rub, 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 rub. Feel that rub. Feel that rub. And then, once my arms can't do any more rubbing, I'm going to turn my hands around and place them over the adrenals. And feel it's like a hot water bottle. Feel that. And now connect it to the warmth in the ankles. Bring the two together so you're feeling the ankles and the back warm at the same time. And don't forget to breathe. The nervous system will respond to this. It's going to go, oh yeah, something's changing. Okay? We're going away from stress. All right, so the little sequence that we've been doing with this one, we're going to repeat it again because I do want you to remember how easy these things are to remember. We're going to come into upside down sequence, as I call it. So the purpose of this is to keep the head low all the way through. Start with your knees bent, dangle your arms, and lie on your thighs. Let the neck and jaw go. Those 2 points that we were massaging earlier, you could massage them again here in the nape of the neck to remind you to let go of the jaw and neck. Hug your knees. And now start to push slightly through the legs to get a stretch. Breathe. Now thinking back to the sun salutation when we were doing the bottom roll and we had that feeling of relaxation wash through the body. Can we conjure that up now and let it go? Let go of the jaw. Lovely. And then we're going to bring one hand to the center, one hand to the back. Still keeping that heart above the head. Remember, this is our aim here. We're just keeping ourselves entertained with a bit of stretching. So we've got one hand on the floor. We're twisting around to look at the ceiling. Bring the arm up if you feel comfortable. Lovely twist. Swap sides. I find it's always good to start this with the turn without the arm and then add the arm at the end, especially for my stiff shoulder here. Coming back to the forward bend. Have a moment here, dangle the arms, dangle the neck. We're going to heel toe our legs out. We're coming into triangle pose. Now, the aim of this is to stretch out the psoas, another area, a big muscle that holds quite a lot of tension. So we're bending the elbows and having a nice stretch. Now stretching, what it's doing, apart from feeling good, is actually consuming the cortisol and the adrenaline that we just rubbed out of those glands into the body. But there are quicker ways, and I'm just going to show you one here, where we just bend the knees and straighten them, like we're doing mini little squats. Mini little squats. And you basically do these until the muscles start to feel fatigued. Okay? Just a little bit of movement, just a little bit of effort, and the muscles are going to warm up and they're going to consume all that adrenaline so much faster. Right, once you've got tired, come back to your stretch and then just enjoy the stretch, the stillness, breathe. Keeping that head upside down. Remember, that's the aim. All right, we're going to turn one foot to face one way and we're going to walk the hands around. Try to keep the head down. And then I'm going to swap positions so you can see that I'm now trying to straighten this front knee. It's a bit of a stronger stretch for that hamstring. Let go in the neck. Breathe. Relax those toes. Remember the feeling for the stretching of the lower half of the body. The patterning is let go of the legs as if they don't belong to you. Drop them. Lovely. And then we walk. Keep the head down. We're going to walk our way around to the other side. So this is a little bit of an extension on what we've been doing. It's quite nice to have a little bit more to do. And just relax as much as you can. Remember, the stretch is going to be so much, not just pleasant, but actually deeper if you're relaxing. Okay, so we're back to the center, back to our triangle pose. You're going to notice like, oh, look at that. All of that work has really paid off here. Now check your weight distribution. Make sure you're not too far back or too far forward on your feet. And relax that neck and jaw. Remember, FPR and the neck and jaw are really closely related.
Those two reflexes work together. Lovely. And then we're going to heel toe our feet in. Remember, we're keeping our head down still. Stretch out the hands, step back into downward dog. And we're bending one knee and stretching the other. And wait for it. Wait for that leg to get that feeling in it. Wait for the toes to soften. Wait. You're always going to feel the screaming, shouting muscles, but undercurrent is relaxation, is that feeling, that patterning that we've learned to let go. And then we'll swap sides. When it's done, you wait, wanting that pattern to come in, reminding yourself what it felt like. And then both legs. Now we've been upside down a really long time now. We're starting to get the effects of that. And you might have already decided that that's enough, and that's fine. You're just going to bring yourself down onto knees and onto elbows and place the top of the head on the floor. And then using the hands, you're going to pull and stretch out the back of the neck. This is a C shape for the spine. And then you're going to push and roll the forehead down to the ground. Tail will go up. That's an S shape for the spine. And so we're pulling into C shape. Back of the neck is long. And we're pushing ourselves back to S shape. This is going to give us an opportunity to stretch out those 2 points in the back of the neck. If you can't feel a stretch, just walk the knees a bit closer. And a little bit longer with the heart above the head as well, in an easy way. And then we're going to place that forehead on the ground. You can keep the arms where they are if you wish, or you can bring them by your feet to rest the shoulders. And just stay here and breathe and notice the body's response to this. It's like, oh yeah, something is definitely happening. We're changing state. All that's needed now is the FPR reflex moves, which we're going to do a bit later at the end. Otherwise, we could comatose, be able to move or relax or anything. Lovely. All right, let's come on to the morrow. Okay, so tightness of breath, tightness of diaphragm. This is the basis of the work that we're going to be doing today on the upper back and shoulders. This is where all the tension stems from. So bring your right hand and place it onto your left rib. The other hand is going to come onto the elbow, and we're going to start this rib cage rock. So this is a reflex move. This is going to change what is happening in the diaphragm. The automatic response of stress in the diaphragm is to hold the diaphragm in tension. Hopefully this, and what we do next, is going to release it. So we're getting into a nice rhythm. Remember, rhythm is so important. It's quite nice if you can to close your eyes so you can really feel what's happening internally. You're literally rocking the diaphragm and the rib cage. And to really get that rhythm. Now, it's not a massive movement, it's an easy movement. So the best way to describe that is to say, whatever amount of effort you're putting into this movement right now, halve the effort but keep the movement. Halve the effort but keep the movement. And you want that rhyme, that song, that count, that drum beat. And the rhythm sounds a little bit like this. So it's fairly fast. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's small and fast. Lovely. All right, now when you feel like you've had enough, as you know, the body gives you a response. The nervous system goes, oh, no, that's good. Enough, thank you. Bring the hands around and cup it around your diaphragm here. Start to feel how that is warming up. Okay, it's starting to warm up there. All right, so the next one we're going to do is called
palpitation of the diaphragm. This is like literally giving it a massage. So we're going to bring our fingers to the bottom of our rib cage here, where the very edge of the diaphragm is, okay? And we're going to breathe in, we're going to look up. And then as you breathe out, you can fold forwards. And as you fold forwards, those fingers are going to slide underneath the ribs. Breathe all the way out, really empty, empty, empty the lungs. Hold that out breath just for a second. Feel that massage, then breathe in and come up. Now the next bit, the hands are going to slide a little bit closer in to the next bit of the diaphragm. And as you breathe out again, you're going to fold forwards. Let the fingers slide underneath. Hold, hold, hold your breath. It's only a second. You're just acknowledging what you're doing with that hold of the breath. Now bring the fingers close in next time you come up. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out again, let those fingers, it's going to feel a little bit more uncomfortable. You've got the sternum to deal with here. So get underneath the sternum. Hold for a moment. And then as you come up this time, wrap those hands around the diaphragm and see how you can feel that warmth has increased. So this is the patterning here, okay? The reflex, when it's triggered the other way, drops the diaphragm and warms it up. And that's how we know that we've done a good job. And when we spend ages doing this in one of our classes, you know, by the end of it, it feels like you've got fire in there. So we don't have enough time to do that today. We're going to do other things, but let's just finish it off with a bit of movement. Okay, this is a salsa move, but it does a lot for spreading this warmth around, changing direction. I don't think it's in the lexicon of reflex moves, this one, but I use it a lot and it works, so we'll just add it. All right, so now when you finish all of that movement, and again, you tune into this, it's like, oh yes, that has spread. It's spreading. And were we to do a whole session, it would spread even more. But we're just going to do some stretching just to integrate what we've done. So this sequence, again, is a nice, easy sequence that you can remember at home. So we're sitting. You can have the legs crossed, the legs out. It's up to you. But the arms are behind you. You're rolling the shoulders together. Now, when we did this a few weeks ago, we opened up this breastbone by pulling with the hands. So you want to imagine that you're still doing that. As you look up and back, now breathe. Feel that tension. It's above the diaphragm. Okay, because the diaphragm, when it pulls up, it holds a lot of things in tension. Now we're going to try and spread the warmth. So imagine the breath is really warm and it's spreading itself from that diaphragm, from that crep plate in the center of the body, up through the breastbone. And again, now to come out of this safely, drop the chest, don't lift the head. All right, so after that, oh, look at that, warmth is spread. Okay, let's spread it to the side of the body now. So now again, nice simple stretches, nothing complicated. The body is like a sack of potatoes. It's like somebody's trying to pull that sack of potatoes off the floor, and instead you're stretching here on the side of the body, just where the diaphragm is. And breathe heat into it. Now, if you can't feel anything giving way, if you're breathing all that heat and still staying tight, remember that you can imitate the reflex move in the yoga pose. So what you do is you use your hand and you create a little ribcage rock, just for 10 seconds or so, just to remind the body. And then when you come to stillness, it's like, oh, it's remembered. Now breathe into it. And you get all that space. Lovely. Swapping sides. Drop your sack of potatoes, reach up with the hand, breathe the heat into the side of the body, see how it feels, and then you've got to rock. If you did one side, it's always a good idea to do the other. And then again, have another little stretch, see the difference it makes, isn't that lovely? As the pattern gets in, the muscles and the diaphragm, they just know what to do, especially when you've done this for a while. You know, it's really imprinted in your body. Opposite hand to opposite knee. The last one in this little sequence here for the morrow. So once you get into your stretch and you feel that upper back, it's like, oh, there's the tension. Most of it will be in the morrow area. So let's give that a rock. Use your back of the hand at the back of the body to create this ribcage rock that we were doing earlier. Remind the body what to do, and then go for the stretch again. And breathe. Lovely. Swapping sides. Looking over the shoulder, finding the tight spot, giving it a little rock. And then another stretch. Lovely. Come back to the center. And with any luck, we can feel that this warmth here is definitely more integrated. I can feel it a bit deeper in, and it's not as strong as it was, but it's definitely there as a pattern. Okay, so last week we were doing S to C reflex, which is this one, right? So we pull with the hands. It's basically cat and cow, but the difference is that you're using your hands to manage the body, because this is how babies do it. So when babies do it, they sit on the ground, they have their hands and they do this, pull, 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 and that's what's creating the brain connections, okay? So we don't have to do it quite so harshly. We can do it much, much more relaxed. But what we did do last week that I want to just review quickly is we started on working deeply with this in the lower half of the body. And that was this one where we were going S. So I've got my hand here doing S, pushing into my hand here just below the belly button, and then C, pushing into the hand at the back. And we started with the big movements, S to C, S to C, noting that in the C, the core picks up a little bit. And then we were making it smaller and smaller and smaller, until we were rocking, until it was really small, but really loose and small rocking motion. And this is quite hard. This is quite a journey. You know, when you first start, you're like, what? This doesn't move like that at all, right? Can I get my tail to feel really loose? Now, just keep going with this for a little moment, until the reflex, because the nervous system is going to respond. It's going to go, whoa, enough. Any second now. And then change position so that you've got the sitting bones onto something, whether it's a chair or the floor, it doesn't really matter. But once you stop, I want you to just close your eyes for a moment, because this is where we were doing the rooting, the grounding earlier, the anchoring. I want you to imagine now that the roots are not coming out from your feet, but they're coming out from your sitting bones, and they're rooting down into the earth and wrapping themselves around that crystal, that rock. And we're really rooted and really grounded. The other way that we've done this in the past, those of you that have been here a while, is to have that sack of potatoes feeling. So we know the lower half of the body is a really heavy sack of potatoes. Lovely. Okay. Now, let's continue with the S to C. Okay, so we're going to bring the hands to the lap, whatever position you're in, and we're going to pull into S shape. Now, notice what's happening now. We're going to work on this in the upper body. When you come into S shape and you breathe in, the spine extends, it reaches up, and then as you let go, it comes down. And you push in your hands and you come to C shape, and it kind of collapses. Breathing in, pull, extend. And breathing out, push, C shape. Pull into S shape. And back to C shape. Okay, now this is the last time we're going to do this. We're going to come into S shape. And now we're going to come to neutral. So it's neither S nor C. Notice how upright your spine is, how nice and straight it is. And now we're going to just use the breath. We did this at the end of last session. As you breathe in, we've got the spine extended naturally. We're not moving it, it's only internally. It remembers what that extension feels like. It's like you're growing, like an 11-year-old. You know you're going to be taller. Breathing out, you engage the core and you root down to your anchor point. Breathing in, lengthening. Breathing out, rooting down, anchoring. Breathing in, lengthening. Okay, so now let's see, can we have a sense of anchoring down and reaching up at the same time, regardless of the breath? And this, my friends, is how you get good posture without any effort. Notice there's hardly any effort, you're just breathing. It's just awareness, breath, and good functional movement. Okay, so a couple of things that impede this, okay, is tension in the diaphragm, right? So if the diaphragm is tight and it's tucking itself in, you're going to collapse here. And then you're going to build the muscle structure to hold that in position, and that's what creates the upper back tension and pain. So let's see if we can loosen some of these muscles. So we're going to have one hand in front, one hand behind. And just as before, we're going to do a big S shape, push through the hand forwards, push through the hand back, push through the hand forwards, push through the hand back. And then once you've got this moving, and I can tell you when I work with my elderly ladies, this area does not move for many, many people, okay? Then we're going to make it smaller and a bit faster. Starting to get like a big rock. Big rock. Smoothness is what we're after here. Smooth, forward and back. Okay. Now once you've got the smoothness, make it a bit smaller, but a bit faster. Still smooth, still rocky. Now, it might not feel smooth. A lot of people say it feels really clunky and juddery. And that's because the connection isn't there and the body doesn't know this pattern and it needs to learn it. So repetition is key. That's why we do the rocking. It's repeat, repeat, repeat over and over again, right? So keep going till you're doing your smallest, smoothest, easiest little rock. Lovely. And at some point, again, the nervous system is going to turn around and go, you know what, that is enough, especially here, because it's quite near the esophagus, so you can start to feel a bit nauseous. If that happens, bring it to neutral, release the hands, and just have a moment with your feet, hands, and face reflex. Just feel your feet, feel your hands, release your jaw, and feel all three together. So that's like your first aid. If it ever goes over the top for you, you get a bit of overwhelm. Lovely. Okay, so let's see if we can put this into our routine. Okay, so we started this little routine last week with the legs out nice and wide. It's one that we do fairly regularly, but I'm officially making it the S to C routine here. First things first is we've got to deal with the other patterns, right? So we've got to let go of the legs, all right? So tick tock is good for that in this one. You know, you can go tick, tock, release, tick, tock, release. Now, when your body's done this a million times, it knows it. And so it will very quickly go, oh, I know what you want. And you'll let go. And then we're going to stretch forwards. Okay, so now what happens? We use the hands, S shape, pull. C shape, core. S shape, pull, lengthen. Lengthen that spine. C shape. Now try when you do the C shape, when you do your core, to not collapse completely. What if this time when you breathed in and you did your S shape and you reached, you kept the head roughly where it is, relax the back of the neck, relax the jaw, and instead you just engage the core. So we're coming into still version of this now. So we do it internally. Close your eyes. And as you breathe in, lengthen the spine, just as we were doing. Pull slightly with the hands, lengthen. As you breathe out, engage the core. Breathe in, lengthen. Now you can start to bend the elbows if you want to have a stronger stretch in the legs, but try not to let the intensity of the stretch in the legs take you away from this focus on the spine. It's in neutral, and as you breathe, you lengthen, you pull. Ever so slightly, as you breathe out, you engage the core, you let go of the legs. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out. Pull. You spend a bit of time with this. Work it out. Now, if the reflex isn't all that bright in your system because you don't know it very well, you can just revert to the actual movements. Okay, so turn now to face one leg. Slide the hands either side. It doesn't have to be a really mega strong stretch, okay? Just enough so you can feel it pull. S shape. So we start with the big, that breastbone going forwards, and release. Pull. And release. Pull. So you do about 3 or 4 of these pull and releases with actual physical movement, and then you can just bring into that stillness and just breathe it open. Get that reach, get that tail, letting go. And remember, we're not holding that lower body. That was last week's session. Really learning how to let go of the legs completely, root down. Once you've done a few breaths on one side, rotate, reach. And again, start with the physical movement. Pull. It's only a slight movement, but it makes all the difference. Release as you engage the core. Release the neck, release the leg. Pull. Release. Pull. Now when you're releasing, you're not collapsing the spine, you're just letting go of the leg and the neck. Come to just doing it with the breath, no more movement, just breathing. Is that pattern there? Are you able to reach with the spine? Well done. That's good. So let's bring that into turtle pose. So we're lifting up the legs. Now the legs are going to be feeling like really heavy now. We're getting very solidly that pattern of anchoring in and letting go of the legs as we come forward. Now this one, very classically, the turtle pose, most people will come into a C shape straight away. Okay, so let's just see if we can try to create an S shape. S. Reach. Now here we can feel it. Now what you need to try and avoid, one of the things that happens when people reach is that often they're pushing from the buttocks. Okay, don't push from the buttocks. You want the psoas to drop down. Remember, it's a sack of potatoes. You want your spine to be reaching out of the body without the buttocks being used. So much to think about. Coming down if you want to stretch some more. And you can just do it with the breath. You don't have to do it with physical movement. You don't have to pull and stretch. You could just use the breath. Breathe in, lengthen the spine. Breathe out, relax the legs, engage the core, let go of the neck. In the S shape, we're reaching. And what would be the C shape is just core and relaxation. You see really deep stretches for the back. We're going to now move on to our upper back, okay? Not before we've done a bit of circling. As you know, circles are so important, especially for female bodies. You circle, circle, circle. And notice that as you're circling, the tail is naturally now doing S shape to C shape, S shape to C shape, and change direction. Okay, let's come back to the Morrow a little bit now. Bring the hands around the rib cage. Now you might need to stop the lower half initially if you're not used to this. But what if you were hula hooping now, just your breastbone, forward and back, S shape to C shape, S shape to C shape. Can you isolate the movement? Obviously the lower back is moving, but your focus is up here. Now the hula hoop thing might not work. You might want to have the hands so you can see the hands. Oh yes, I'm definitely moving in a circle. And we're loosening up. Okay, so we've done the lower half of the STNR and now we've got this sinking feeling. That rooting is much more clear. Can you feel that? Yeah, so those roots coming out of the tailbone and wrapping themselves around, we are anchored down. So now we're going to reach with the arms. Think back to the last time you hung off monkey bars. It might have been 40 years, whatever, but you know, you still will have a memory in there somewhere. And so the lower body is sinking down and the arms are reaching up. Now the thing is with this reflex, it's called the Landau reflex, is that we could just only reach the arms and not reach the spine. Okay, we need to reach the spine as well. So perhaps close your eyes. Now as you breathe in, feel the spine reach. Grab hold of the monkey bars and then imagine that you're dangling. And you're still creating that space in the spine. It stays, it doesn't go anywhere because of gravity. Breathing in, lengthen the spine. You're still reaching on the monkey bars as you breathe out. That reach remains as you dangle. One more. Lovely. And there we go. And so like as we come back again to our posture, notice that we are upright with ease. The spine is holding itself up. Every time you breathe in, it's doing it. And now we've taught it that as you breathe out, it doesn't have to collapse. It can stay exactly where it is. The legs can, you don't need to use your lower back to maintain your uprightness. The legs can let go. To really embody this, because this you're going to want to remember what it feels like. You might want to close your eyes and go, what does this feel like exactly? Can I remember this for later? Because then when we start to stretch, you see in yoga classes, we get lost in the stretch and we forget the functional movement. We forget how the nervous system wants our body to be. Let's come into a forward bend. This is a classic, right? So hamstrings, they're so loud, they scream so loudly at us that we forget everything else, okay? So first thing is the legs need to be let go of. They need to be relaxed. You want to have that sack of potatoes, that rooting feeling going down from the sitting bones, and it affects the legs, even the toes relax. Okay, and then as you breathe in, you lengthen the spine. You're not pushing from below, you're just reaching with the space you're creating. And as you breathe out, don't collapse. Don't collapse it. Just engage the core. And that gives you the space to fold forward into. Breathe in, you're lengthening the spine. And as you breathe out, you're not letting it collapse. It's as if it's still dangling. Maybe you've got a hook in the top of your head and it's still dangling off that monkey bar. Breathing in, lengthen. Breathing out, let go. Feel that space. Let's cross over the arms. I'm going to do a twist here. So we're going to drop one elbow down onto the leg so that we've got the leverage. We're going to try and look underneath the other arm. So there's a slight twist here. Breathe in, feel the length. You probably lost it and working out what to do. Breathing out, relax the legs, keep the length, push on the elbow, twist a little bit more. To swap sides, all you're going to do is bring the other arm down, bring the other arm above, and go the other way. Think about it, the length. So easy to forget. Core engages. to come out. We'll see how that feels. You might want to circle. It's quite a deep stretching when we do it like this. We're getting into layers of muscle that have been held in patterns that are not healthy for us. Okay, so how does then this affect? This is the final bit. We're running a tiny bit late, but how does this affect the lower back when the diaphragm is tight and the lower back is held and the neck is held? It holds the whole of the spine to ransom, and you're kind of like in the C shape. So then you're trying to do things to get into that place between the shoulder blades, and you can't. You can't get into it. So we'll start with an easy twist. We don't know we've already done this, but it's a good one to practice. So an easy twist. Okay, so we know we warmed this up earlier. We gave it a little bit of a rock. But now, if you breathe in and lengthen, and as you breathe out, you keep that length. Notice that there's so much more room for movement. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, twist. And let go. And the legs, the whole time, like the legs never come with you. It's just in the breath and the length. You feel that opening out. Because I had a lifetime of having this area really closed off, I really notice it when I remember to lengthen the spine. I'm just going the other way now. And twist. It's like, oh, yes. There's so much more space. Let go of the legs. Remember, you're not pushing from the floor. The floor is sinking down. It's rooted, anchored. You're lifting with the breath. That's the pattern that we're after today. That's the one we're highlighting, one of many, as you know. Okay, so the twist that I really want to do is this one. It's the one that we do with a mermaid sequence. So if you've got one foot tucked in, the other foot is level with the knee. Now, normally we warm up, but we've done a lot of warm up today, so I think we can definitely go into this. So you're going to tip the pelvis over the legs. So if your pelvis was full of water, it's now pouring water. The hand is on the knee, and you're looking over the shoulder. And this is a whole spinal stretch, right? So as you breathe in, reach but drop the buttocks. Notice what that does. Drop the pelvis. It's meant to be rooting as you reach. And then come back for a moment. Give it a rest. Oh, it's because it's strong. And then again. Reach. Drop the pelvis. And release. Do one more. Reach. I chose this one because it's really obvious, this reach. And it's really obvious when you let go of the legs. You really feel it. So we're really cementing this new pattern into the body. Opposite hand. Okay, so here we go. We're tipping the pelvis. So we go slowly the first one. You don't know what your territory's like. When you get there, breathe in, lengthen. Drop the pelvis. And release. Tip. Drop the pelvis. And release. You're reaching and dropping the pelvis at the same time. Okay. Really nice stretches, everyone. Let's just have a little bit of a circling session before we lie down. Don't have to be long. It's just nice to even it out when you've done two sides like that. Okay, so as we come to stillness, let's just consolidate everything we've learned today. We are rooting in the sitting bones, anchored in, and every breath the spine is lengthening. And as we breathe out, we don't lose that length. Instead, we engage the core. That's what's going to hold us here. And we've warmed up this sort of midsection here. Next week, this really helps the shoulders. And next week, we're going to really bring it into the shoulders much more. Okay, so let's lie down. There's still a couple of things to do. I'm going to bring these arms up and over for this one, because this is going to help release and mobilize this area more. This is one of the best ones that I've done. So we're going to come into our bridge pose, okay? So, you know, we always do our bridge pose because it helps us with the happy hormones for relaxation, tucking the chin in, lengthening the back of the neck, pushing through the feet, making sure that you're not pushing from the lower back. The lower back, it's relaxed. Okay, it's just the feet and the core doing this work. So you'll feel the feet, you feel the inner thighs, but the back is soft. And you know, we hold this as long as we can. Relax the arms, relax the neck. Maybe use the hand to tuck the chin in a little bit more and stretch out the back of the neck a bit more. But the real work on this comes as we drop down. So we're going to drop down and find the first tight place. First tight place. And when you find it, normally we rock side to side, right? We do a rib cage rock here. But today I want you to just S to C that one vertebra. S to C that one vertebra that's stuck and feels tight. Once it's loosened, then by all means you can rock it side to side with a rib cage rock. It's fine. You can do both. Drop to the next bit of tension in the back and S to C that one. Can you isolate just that one vertebra and move it forward and back, rock it forward and back, and then again side to side. And when that loosens, you move to the next one. Again, S to C, S to C, S to C it. And rock. So you're going all the way down the spine, giving the spinal bones a bit of freedom of movement, a bit of intelligent reminder of what they're capable of. S to C, S to C, each one. Even as you get to the lower back, it's a bit harder. You've got to engage your core a bit more. But they all affect each other. They're all in line, so they will affect each other. What you're doing in the lower back will be helping what's happening in the upper back. And then by the time the tail reaches the floor, you release the arms. It's like, whoa, that was something else. Take a breath. Feel the spine aligning, taking in all of this information. And then we'll bring the arms to the sides. Push that leg over. And coming into a floor twist. This is our finishing sequence. We always do it. But now we've got a new pattern to play with. So hand on the knee and hand on the temple. If you want to do it that way, you don't have to. Let the body relax between the hands. Let the hands hold you. And now you can just breathe. And as you breathe in, what happens? You feel the length of the spine. As you breathe out, the length stays and you engage the core. Breathing in, lengthening. Breathing out, core. And then swapping sides. Going a little bit faster through this because we are a little bit late and I do want to get to a proper relaxation next. So I hope you've got an extra 5 minutes. It's probably all that it's going to take. Breathing in, lengthening. Using your hands on the knee and the temple if you want to just hold yourself. Lengthen and core. Right, so our final really important pose for our happy hormones. We've done some good work on the adrenals already, so this is going to help. We're going to sit on the hands, stretch out our legs, tuck the elbows in. Now, this Landau really comes into play here. So as you come into fish pose, are you lengthening your spine? It's in an S shape, but you're not pushing through from the buttocks. It's just the breath, and as you breathe out, engage your core, but don't move the spine. If you want to try and come up to the second level of this, which is to lift the head off the floor, you really need the length here. And you need to relax your jaw and your neck. If you did lift the head off when you decide to come down, stay in position, bring the head to the ground and then roll it in. And release the head out, tucking the chin in, release the arms, wait for that lovely, that wave of happy hormones to pass through the body. Sometimes it's not immediate, it takes a minute or so. And you can feel like the body's so prepared. We've stretched it to smithereens, we've dealt with the hormones. And all it needs now is the patterning for the relaxing reflex, the FPR. So we'll bring the feet on the ground and we'll just start to give ourselves this knee bend. So you're using your feet, remember, to create a rock in the spine. The body is like a blob of jelly. Nice and easy. There's not a lot of effort needed for this. The less effort, the better. You're getting into a nice rhythm. When you first start to do this, it is quite tricky, but by now most of us at least have practiced this every night because we know how good it is for sleep. Start to feel the body line up. It's as if every cell in the body starts to rock in this rhythm. And again, there's going to be a response. Quite soon something will change. You might breathe deeply, you might yawn, you might feel a flush, tingling, rub your eyes, whatever it is, you're going to bring it to stillness. When that happens, and notice, like here, we've switched the switch into relaxed mode. And all we need to do now is keep the mind entertained whilst we relax the body. Bringing our awareness to the body is enough to relax. It's all we need. So today we're going to use the element of ether, which is the space element. And so we're going to create space in the body, starting by breathing into our pelvis. As you breathe into the pelvis, notice that you're creating minuscule sized space there in the lower back and in the joints of the pelvis. And as you breathe out, don't let that space collapse. Just let the breath come out so that when the next breath comes in, you breathe even more space. Sacroiliac joints of pubic bone, all creating space as the pelvis grows slightly inside. We're talking like millimeters here. Bring that spacious breathing into the hip joints, breathing into the hips and feeling them expand with the breath. And as you breathe out, keep that space there. So when the next breath comes in, you create more space. Take your attention down to the knees. Lots of different spaces in the joints of the knees, so you don't have to know your anatomy, you just need to breathe. Breathe into them. Imagine you're creating all that space. And breathing out. Keep the space ready for that next breath to come and expand it even more. Bringing the awareness now to the ankles, doing the same, breathing into the ankles, creating space. And as you breathe out, don't let the space go away, breathing in more space. Lots of little bones in the feet and toes. Breathe into the spaces there and the little knuckle spaces. And as you breathe out, don't let those spaces in the toes and feet go away. Just keep them there, ready for that next breath. Now, as the breath rolls down from the lower back, Expanding the pelvis, the hips, the knees, the ankles, the feet, and the toes. Feel all that space that you're creating. Keep it there as you breathe out. And bring in more space in the next breath. Now bring your awareness to the diaphragm, to the area we've been working there, just remembering how warm it was just a little while ago. Breathe space into the diaphragm and the rib cage. As you breathe out, you can feel the rib cage moving, but the spaciousness remains. Extend that now to breathe into the shoulders, creating space in the shoulders. Again, as you breathe out, don't let that space collapse, so that the next breath you can breathe even more. Let's breathe into the shoulders, elbows, the wrists, the little spaces in the hands, the knuckles of the fingers. Leaving space in the whole of the arms and hands. Keeping that space there, feeling that spaciousness so that when you breathe in next time, so much space. Find a joint now where the head and the neck meet. Breathe in some space into this joint, at the base of the skull, where those 2 points are. And as you breathe out, let that space remain as you breathe in the next breath and create more space. Breathing in space into the jaw joint. Even to the joins between the teeth and the gums. The space behind the nose above the palate. The space in the cheekbones and around the eyes, behind the brow and the forehead. The top of the head opening. So we're breathing space into the neck, jaw, all the facial bones, the head bones. And that second out breath, expanding it even more. Now feel the breath come down from that neck joint all the way through the neck bones, leaving space into the neck bones, the spinal bones between the shoulder blades, the middle of the back, the lower back, all the way to the tail. So the whole of the spine now expanding with the breath. And staying open as you breathe out. You can breathe even more into it. And so now the whole body, breathe into every space in the whole of the body. As you breathe out, keep that space there. So the next breath that comes in, there's even more space. And on this out breath, become aware of the floor beneath you. Notice how much it's holding you up. It's holding you so that you can be this spacious. Breathing in, you're aware of the whole body opening, spaciousness everywhere. Breathing out, you're aware of the floor beneath you, holding you. You can surrender the body to its hold. The floor coming up to meet you, holding you up. And at some point you can see, can I feel these two sensations simultaneously? Can I feel the spaciousness of the body and its weight at the same time? If the mind is busy, you can simply bring it back to the breath that we were doing. Breathing in, feeling the spaciousness. Breathing out, feeling the weight. And then occasionally, and every now and again, trying to feel the two at the same time. And so, as always, I'm going to gently slip out the back door while you continue to relax and enjoy the relaxation for as long as you can. This is the advantage of being at home. Enjoy it, stay with it, as long as you're able.